What's up, creators? Welcome back to another episode of the
Creator Show.
And I'm actually so excited for this episode today. We've got some very special guests in the house. On the right corner, we have got Paul from Bath, one of our fellow Wealthy Okies here joining us today. Next to Paul, we've got Nat Evolve, self-love coach. Every time I say Nat's name, I can't remember the whole list of things that Nat does, but I know a lot of you guys know who Nat is from running challenges, from running yoga with inside our community. Nat, really great to have you here.
Thank you.
I don't know how this next guest has made it on the set again. We've got Loudmouth Louise from London again.
Yes.
And we've got a very, 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 very special guest. I don't know if you guys can see her yet, but we've got Faith the dog official. Faith, say hi.
She's gonna bark.
Faith, say hi. There we go. Okay, I'm back to sleep now. So what's up, everybody? How's things?
Things are good.
Good.
Yeah.
How's everybody been?
Very good. I'm so excited actually to be here.
Yeah.
Especially with Paul, Louise.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah,
good,
it's
good.
nice.
Big smiling faces.
Yeah, I
I've
know.
been told to smile because I don't do it enough.
So Paul's actually one of our Wealthy Yogis, and I think Paul,
This
a lot
is
of
a natural
people.
face, but it's internal smiling, which I can't master. Master Lim's wonderful grinning smile, but just look for the internal smile within me.
There we go. There you have it, folks. So, Paul, let's start things off right here. How has your experience been here in the academy and the I Am Creator setting, working with Master and your fellow Wealthy Yogis, let's say?
Wow, what a challenge. What a challenge you all are. You really don't know what to expect. It's been nice that prior to coming here, I bumped into Master Lim back in May, saw the real McCoy of someone from Northern Ireland. So I'm one of the few people that can actually understand him, which is a benefit in itself. Without subtitles, we normally do that for the hard of hearing. We do it with teletext underneath, so you can understand it. Yeah,
That's going back many years.
going back,
Teletext, bro.
yes. These grey hairs are added for a certain reason here. I've been around. I'm so last century, darling.
Oh, wow.
So yes, getting back to the subject which you
Yes.
asked me, Wealthy Yogi. Well, I think if you come into Wealthy Yogi thinking you know what to expect, then you'll realise you've got it all wrong, but you've got it all right, because it is right, and it's going well. It's been a journey,
Yeah.
and it's been challenging, struggling, but the best way in learning is, again, the repetition. Well, now actually I've been dragged out of class screaming. We're going through with Joshua at the moment upstairs,
Nice.
going through ClickFunnels and the amalgamation within all of that stuff, which, although we have the excellent, and she's brilliant, you've got to see Tabaria. If you haven't followed her stuff, then do it.
Yeah,
It's
so-
compulsory.
Yeah.
Jabaria
She's-
is one of our lead trainers who has came to train our Wealthy Yogis within the first week, and her content, her knowledge, her
Is
banquet of information is just phenomenal.
beyond
right?
belief.
Yeah.
But as with any learning program, and just getting back briefly to what we're doing upstairs, we're now, bespoke, using her teachings to fully implement it in what we're getting involved in, with some of the sales calls and the marketing that is going on with the umpteen events, and there are too many of them to mention now that are going on. So that's, just come in with open eyes, open heart, and just soak it all up, and just do it.
Nice.
Keep pushing, and but it is a challenge. Okay, back to the main man.
That's it.
So-
And Nat, I was just about to ask you, from obviously your involvement with the Wealthy Yogis, you've been training them on yoga and stuff like that. How have you found it coming into the environment to train people and to be working with such individuals of all ages, from different backgrounds, from different countries? How has it been?
Well, I think it's wonderful, to see. And it's a couple of weeks ago, I think we actually, I was in a room when I was participating in yoga, and Paul as well. And it's experiencing that here people can push themselves to the limit, right? But sometimes actually maybe even beyond. But it's nice because, well, it's nice. I mean, it's incredible to see what actually the yoga as well, what the yoga does over here, because the yoga practice, I think it really scale the whole, how do we say, the master, basically help you to master the mind.
Yeah.
It's very, very important. And I think right now what I see here, every single person, well, we started with kind of like everyone were beginner here.
Yeah.
So right now to see everyone last week everyone doing a headstand almost, or even like Paul, like, you know, fantastic, really great, like doing a downward facing dog. And even though I remember, okay, your shoulder wasn't that, you know, maybe great, but you've done fantastic. Yes, the progress was fantastic.
Yeah.
So really, and I think really, I'm just so
just one thing to put in there, which probably hasn't been mentioned, is that as I Am Creator is growing, one of the wonderful things, again, it's part of that learning curve. Nat is in fact my team leader. And something that you know, you don't realise, you come into this and then you're doing all your bits and pieces, but as everything is growing, I Am Creator very cleverly giving you someone to be your mentor. So if I've got any little problem, you know, with regard anything, I go up the chain and I say, Nat, look, I'm struggling with this, and she's back on clickety click with answers. Even if it's not her speciality, she will point me in the right direction. I love that because it is the teamwork working at its absolute best. I think, and you can't do all of this alone. You can't.
I think particularly for a lot of people who are actually watching here right now are probably part of the Creator Circle Plus, and I know that they all practice yoga on a weekly basis with Nat and with all the yoga instructors along with Master. But maybe from your own personal experiences and stuff, and I know, Nat, you touched on this from running your 7-day challenge and stuff. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of yoga and why we practice yoga and how important it is whenever it comes to being able to manifest and bring forth things into your life? Because people think we just practice yoga for the sake of practicing yoga, right?
That's a good question. Yeah. So especially recently, like when we've been in India with Master Shreya Kashnar and experienced the whole journey, I discover yoga basically on another level, call it. And I think every single one of you, like even Louise, like started yoga when like a month ago, right? She probably can share a lot about her experience. But what yoga does, like if you look like from the perspective of, okay, this, right? You can touch this, right? This is your physical body. You can touch.
Yeah.
The question is, can you touch your mind? You can't really touch the mind. You can visualize, but you can't touch. Can you touch your soul? Not really, right?
No.
You can't really touch. So now people jumping on this journey and they trying, master the mind, you know, I need to work on the mind. But my question will be, is that really actually the right way? And what I can say that probably no, because you can't really master the mind if you haven't mastered something what you physically can touch, which is your body. So what yoga basically does here, whoever is on this journey, I would say grow journey, or even, to be honest, grow journey, or whoever is on this seeker journey, because it's someone who really, you know, someone who wanted more from this life, someone who actually really know that is more. I think yoga is necessary there. Yeah. Why? Because yoga is not a physical only except, but yoga, when you practice yoga, you connect yourself. So through the breath, yoga, mind and spirit is all together, but you easily can master your body. And, you know, looking not only the Wealthy Yogi, but as well, I have to say myself, if I could put a picture right now where I was like 3 months ago, even though, and I practice yoga already for 7 years, but maybe not that this way, that I push myself to my limit. To see the changes, you know, is incredible. But actually here, the changes with your mind, because when you master your physical part, which is your body, your mind actually is getting stronger, quicker, even you are not aware about this. You know,
I think what's really fascinating, I say, to think about whenever we're speaking about this and all, is that we've got a different range of people on the panel here today, different ages, different backgrounds. But I think it's very interesting, especially for the people that are watching at home or listening from home, to understand that you who's watching this type of a show right now, you're actually blessed to be part of the minority who may never be exposed to any of this information. Now, I know, Paul, from what you've experienced here in the course, I know with Nat the work that you do, and I know Louise with the journey that you've been on over the course of the last, let's say, 3 years. If you guys knew Louise 3 years ago, holy shit, right? Like,
what are you trying to say?
Basically, right, I want you to shed your light on what you've experienced from coming into this environment, from being exposed to all of this stuff. It's a huge transformation when you're born and raised in London with the London accent that you got and the lifestyle that you used to live to being where you are right now, right?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I think, it's just any big city, but obviously, born and bred London, it's a hustle, it's a bustle, it's you're being brought up in this kind of, it's a 9 to 5, it's work, live for the weekend type thing. And then kind of coming into this environment where there's people around that to the normal person you'd think, oh my God, they're crazy, they're going to work for themselves, they're going to do that and the other. To have people around you that are doing it and to have that mindset. And I think the biggest, most beautiful thing for me was the fact that people were believing in me before I even believed in myself. So it was just like, you can do it. Why are you not doing it already? And when I was saying things, they were like, but why aren't you doing it already? And I was just like, I don't know. But then to be able to come on that journey and have that support and that environment. And that's what's so cool about the hangout on Sundays. Everyone gets together, everyone can talk, everyone can share about their week. They can participate in the yoga together. It's just so cool. It's so cool to have that energy, to have that environment where people can reach out. Someone's birthday, there's 100 and something comments plus on the birthday, happy birthday. And it's the love and the support that we get through it. And for me, that's the big thing. But actually going back to it, and I know I spoke about it on one of the other shows, for me, probably my biggest breakthrough in the 3 years has been the yoga for me. Because for me, I was like, grew up playing football, athletics, running, dancing. To me, I'm going to get some hate mail. To me, yoga was like just hippies walking around barefoot with dreadlocks. Like why am I doing yoga? And then like the next best thing was like Pilates, and that was just for like skinny, posh white mums. So for me, but that's the image. That's what I.
Yes.
That's for skinny one.
Yes.
Skinny white posh mums.
Oh
like
my
that's.
gosh, that's
Chelsea
hilarious.
tractors.
But that's kind of the stereotypes that you get with it, right? So then, like I said, like to join yoga, and I've said it 100. I'll say it a million more times. These yoga experts make it look easy. Like they would be like, okay, downward dog. I'm like, that's cool. I can bend over and touch my toes. They're like, no. And then Nat was teaching me. She's like, no, stretch, do this, do that. Jesus Christ, I had parts of my body ache I didn't even knew exist. But actually, because of that, it is exactly what you're saying. It's the mind over the matter. It's being able to push your body to another limit, and actually the feeling that you get from achieving that. The first time I did headstand, the first time. I've done quite a few little moves now, and the feeling of like success and achievement that you get from that is just unless you feel it, you don't know.
But
And it's insane.
Do you think that, because it's a good point you actually touched, that what I actually find out, and this is something what I would like to share here, because I was actually today going through everything, like what is happening in the challenge, what is just finished, the 7 days challenge. And what I find out, I was like, wow, I was sitting there, I almost had the tears, honestly, with in my eyes, because the posts and the photos, what people actually posted, what they achieved during 7 days, it was like, I couldn't believe, right? But now is the question, why?
Yeah.
And you know what? The reason is why they did that. Because when you actually guide someone through hard, when you actually guide someone, but as well remind that person that it's all about that love. You know, it's all about as well caring about yourself, but love, get yourself connect with that love which is inside you, with that mini version of you, which I call, and obviously just push yourself to your limit. It's come from love and gratitude. Open your heart. You kind of treat your body like, wow, it's getting there. You release those emotions, you know. So, for example, just to obviously, we're not able to see this, but just to let you know, for example, photos like
We
this.
can pop this up on the screen for you.
Zero, like, you know, lotus in a 7 days. Another post, like a lot of stories, like what people manifested during 7 days, even by doing this. Why? Because they combine the body practice with that love, with that opening heart, you know, with that desire to. I can't even. When I'm actually thinking about this.
No, you are right in the vortex there.
Paul's face is like, I don't recall having that desire as I was bending over backwards. It wasn't desire that was mine.
But you know, it's like as well, people need to learn, and sometimes what is missing when you're coming from that ego, like that. Okay, I'm gonna try to do my performance. And this is what a lot of time happen. People trying to do they try perform in the yoga, and I always say yoga is not performance, but it's acceptance.
Beautiful.
And you know, when you start accepting, you start progressing quicker.
It's interesting. I mean, listening to Louise, we had a little discussion about. I mean, I used to do as my teenage days, training at Crystal Palace in athletics, shot put, javelin, that sort of thing, and you think you're an athlete, and then you're confronted with yoga, which again, without using the comments of our dear friend Louise, which might well be edited, you think of it as something that has no bearing in the real world because you've done athletics, and I've done lower level martial arts, and I go to yoga and I think, oh wow, maybe there's a whole new world that I never ever gave it the value of what it really is. And
so Paul,
if everyone could go around as happy as Natalie, then I think the world would be a better place, because I don't know how she does it. And if I can get a bit of Botox to get me mouth to turn up, then I think then the world will be a better place.
Well, let me ask you a question, right? I want to ask you a question, though, because if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 62.
Wow, 62, and joined us on Wealthy Okie 1 program, right? But let me ask you a question. From speaking about what Nat has been sharing there, from people achieving results within 7 days on an online challenge, for those people who's going to be joining us for the next Wealthy Okie 2020 and stuff, what advice would you give to them, or what words of encouragement that could you bestow upon them as a 62-year-old?
62. Don't add any more numbers.
as a 62-year-old who's completely stepped out of your comfort zone and what you've been so used to doing, what drove you to say, listen, I want to get on that phone call? And I remember the first phone call that we did have together discussing the program. What encouraged you to take those steps to get here? Because there's a lot of people, and I know there's a lot of people who's at home right now who would wish to be in your position right now.
Well, it's got to be, okay, at whatever time of life that you're at, be you the 18-year-old teenager, be you just the finishing of your university and not knowing a direction, or be you, as myself, been through the mill with many great sales companies, yet coming here and still learning things that I thought I knew better than master, but I'm proving myself wrong. So it's a complete and utter learning curve. And if you're going to come in here thinking you know it all, then you're going to find hopefully you're happy to prove yourself wrong if you actually take that on board. But the yoga, I'm embraced. It is quite a challenge, but when you've got people like Nat encouraging you along, and you've got other people that, are more towards weeble wobbles that they don't fall down type shape, and they're still doing it, then you think, well,
weeble wobbles.
Then you can say, well, if they can have a go at it, and everyone does it to their own level of ability with the absolute belief that they can improve. And that's as much as you can do with anything in life.
Yeah.
The results don't lie, do they? And you can see the development of people from week 1 to week 4. Like you were saying, headstands, and like people that couldn't even sit cross-legged now being able to sit there and hold a meditation, and and it's amazing how quickly your body does start to transform and start flexing.
Think about this as well. I think about, because people are already open to receive. They are here to learn. And so the whole as well mindset in the same time, it's playing a lot. It's playing actually big part.
That was my next question for you then, right? Because for Paul to have these realizations, and for everybody to have these such huge periods of growth, right? For the work that you teach people about needing to go within and about learning to love yourself, surely that's a huge element for growth to happen though, right?
Yeah.
True or true?
Yes.
That this growth can't happen, and you can't accelerate in that amount of growth if you're not learning to go within yourself, right?
No, because like Paul said, it's like if you are coming here and you already have that mind that, okay, I know. This is a question. Is that coming from love or ego?
Yeah.
The fear.
Yeah.
So probably, of course, everyone can answer now. It is a fear, it's the ego. So you're already blocking yourself. It's the resistance.
Yeah.
So it's already you're resisting. But when you come here and if you unfold, and you're like, I get it, you open yourself and you're open to receive. You open to push. You know, that's why it's very important. And I think Master already actually mentioned many times, even when he sponsored his program, he mentioned that it's not for everyone. You know, it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
You need to have this mindset, or you need to actually willing to say, yes, I'm okay to be pushed, because end of the day, you know, it's all about pushing, but you have to be open to this. It's not a push and break, it's push and progress yourself. So
I think Paul can touch on that.
I
You've seen people.
I like a little analogy here, and I'm full of these, so just bear me. Now, when we do yoga, we take our shoes off to do that, and when we go into the office to learn from all you champions, we take our shoes off. And I think we should call our shoes ego. Because when you get to the door, you take those shoes off, and that's your ego.
I like
and you
that.
leave that at the door, and you go in to learn. And then you can take your shoes
I like
back home
that.
with you. But as far as coming in to I'm Creator, you leave your shoes, which are your
know
ego,
what?
at the door, and you walk in with an open mind.
We are getting
Wow.
a new sign
Beautiful.
created for our door. Please take your shoes off. No egos allowed inside.
Nice.
That's
It's
amazing.
very, very true, isn't it?
That
And
is so true.
It's
oh my
it's a
God.
reflective
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
thing. Because if you go in with an ego,
Yeah.
you're no use to anybody.
Yeah.
yeah.
You
And
really aren't.
I think speaking about what Nat said, there are a lot of people say, like, you know, oh, I know this already and stuff. You need to really be willing to let your guard down and put your vulnerability out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have experienced it, and we have seen people being very challenged throughout this program. True, Paul.
It is at the beginning. Let's go back to the first week when nobody knows anybody.
Yeah.
And you get up and people from all over the world are coming in here, and they've all got backstories,
Yeah.
and they're all feeling scared and vulnerable, and people do cry.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do shed a tear when they get up. I mean, I'm used to public speaking. It's something
I thought you were going to say I'm used to crying.
Well, you
Used to
know, I
sharing my
have
story
written
of
poems
crying.
about that, but you know, for every tough nut, there's a little soft nut inside.
Yeah.
So, you know, just don't let everyone's bravado
Yeah.
be what they actually
Yeah.
are. But when we did our introductions,
Yeah.
there were people with stories that were very, very moving.
Yeah.
And those stories came out,
Mhm.
and it was very much, you got to learn about that person.
Yeah.
And then you thought, well, you feel for that person because it's brave to do that.
Mm.
And then, right, that's that done. Let's get the show on the road.
Yeah. And I think we were talking about this as well, though, before, that whenever you come into such an environment like this with so many different personalities, so many people from different walks of life, so many people with different stories, there will be differences in opinions. There will be differences in how we do things. But I think it was Wayne Dyer, like one of my favorite people to ever learn from. He said, if anybody triggers you, if anybody does something and it triggers you, it shows you that you haven't mastered yourself.
Yeah.
So those people on your journey who you do come in contact with, they teach you that you haven't mastered yourself, and they're more to be appreciated and thanked than anything else. All right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's funny because I used to watch a lot of reality show when I was like slightly younger, so like the Big Brothers, the Celebrity Jungle, Get Me Out of Here and stuff like that, and you're just like you'd be like, oh, how they've only been in there a couple of weeks, how are they such good friends, and how have relationships sparked, and how do they hate each other so soon? But actually, even just being in this type of environment, you can see how quickly things like that do happen. But like what you're saying, it is actually being able to get yourself in such a pressure cooker. It's almost accelerating your self-awareness, because being put in that situation where you've got individuals who you may not necessarily agree with, like you say, maybe that's a reflection on yourself. There's something that you've not quite mastered, but the fact that you have to deal with it there and then, because this program is still running, this person is still here, you've invested a lot of time and energy and money to be here, they have, and it's a very quick process to be able to wake up, reflect, and then just push forward, which is good.
Yeah.
And you've seen it a lot with a lot of the guys up there as well.
I don't think there's one person within the 30 odd are on the group, and yourself as staff, or you can't call you staff.
Staff. I'm just staff.
Yeah,
Everybody.
yeah.
If everybody's watching, my name's Lim. I'm
Master
staff.
Lim, yeah. But there's not one of you, be it the ones that are here with Wealthy Okie, or your good selves that are are running.
Oh, I've been upgraded from staff to good selves. Yeah.
Yes, that I haven't learned from, and I would say that
Nice.
must be the same.
Yeah.
Every single individual person
Yeah.
has taught me something,
Nice.
and I think that
That's
that
so
is
nice.
absolutely lovely.
Nice.
And it's one of the phrases I don't know whose it was, but I just love it, because it epitomises what we're doing with Wealthy Okies, as we are all little floating boats,
Yeah.
and when the tide comes in, all boats do
Rise
rise,
together, yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what I feel we're up to at the moment. Every little victory is a victory for all of us. That we're all
Yes.
getting further
Nice.
up to high tide.
Just to wrap up from this section that we're speaking about right now, I just want to hear from all of you guys. What's one bit of advice that you would give to people who are at home, who are on the seeker's journey, who are diving into that journey of discovering more, finding out more about themselves? Because we get a lot of people and a lot of questions that come to us on a daily basis. Nat seems ready to
So
go.
I'm
Here.
ready
Go for-
to go.
Like Nat
doesn't even know
Nat
what the
just
question
channeled
is.
something.
She's
She
in
just
there.
said, "I'm ready."
I'm just because it's something really in my head right now, and this is related to what Louise said and as well Paul. That one thing, I think why people are accelerating everything so quickly here.
Yeah.
Why? We actually mentioned a couple of times the being open, right, and receive. And I think people are maybe not aware about this, but that's what here in especially the Wealthy Yogi, that's what is happening. If people are not able to open themselves, they are open with basically people around, so the whole team, and as well they are show how to be in that mode of receive. And I just want to say something. This is something what I tested with 100 people, to be honest, recently in even the yoga challenge. A lot of people would say, I want to do this. I want to master this marketing. I want to achieve this. I want to grow. What if you just remove the word I want completely and you just say, I open myself to have a better results. I open myself to see step forward, what to do to achieve this. I open myself to love. I open myself to hear and see more. And just come with that word. So instead of want, or you just open yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you open yourself, even right now, you can just tell me if you just guys feel anything. When you open yourself, you just open your heart.
Oh my
and
gosh,
yourself.
Nat's
And
going to
you
hypnotize us again. Funny story. We were over at Nat's house a couple of weeks ago, and my gosh, Nat done this meditation. She hypnotized the whole room, and we fell asleep until 4 a.m.
Literally,
It was
no,
literally
it was
4
like
a.m. She
half
said,
past
guys,
11.
no, seriously, 11:30. She said, guys, I'm going to perform this
Nice
very
cup of
special
tea.
meditation with a nice cup of tea. I swear to God, Paul, if you had joined, I think you would have been knocked out to 7 a.m.
I would have thought in your youth you might have done that with a bottle of Bushmills.
No,
Wow.
That's an Irish
yeah.
whiskey for those that don't know it.
There we go. No, but that's very true though with what Nat said there. The change in language, the change in the energy that you feel when you say that. I open myself to freedom.
And this is something what I learned from one of my teacher, and that changed everything for me.
Nice.
Only I open myself. A lot of people seeking for that love,
Yeah.
seeking for that happiness. What if you just say, I open myself to love?
Yeah, that's the answer to everything, eh?
Every day. And what happened? Even probably my husband can say that this is so true because I push him to do that every day and he resists, but now I think he's more open.
Of course.
I mean, I've heard he's doing yoga and all sorts now.
Yeah, oh
It's
my
quite good.
gosh, that's so
2 sun
funny.
salutations.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's got her dear husband up doing yoga, sun salutation every single day as well,
Yeah.
Paul.
Really?
Well, he
Yeah.
did it and he said I
Yeah.
did too.
Yeah, he did too.
Paul,
You know-
what do you say to that? I know it's going to be very difficult to follow on from that, but what's your advice for people on the seeker's journey who are still looking to discover more, for maybe people like yourself who maybe think, oh, have I wasted my time? What advice would you say to those people?
Well, I've used this one because I read it in a book, but I like it. We touched on earlier about there's so many different age groups in this. I'm at the upper end and still got a pulse. So, so there's hope for me yet, But I like the little phrase, and if this resonates to anything that is in your life, now you might be a successful person, you might be pushing yourself, but it's all to do with a ladder, and I like this one. Just imagine it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one about I've spent all of my life climbing up to the top of this ladder, only to realise it was leaning against the wrong wall.
Mm.
And that's all about maybe you are at the top of something, but if you are at the top of something and you don't want to be there, then it's never too late to reevaluate your whole life, your whole situation, and say, is this really where I want to be? And if it
That's
isn't,
beautiful.
it's
That's
never
beautiful.
too late to change,
Wow.
because the world now is changing all the time.
Wow.
And the stigmas of yesteryear of, you stayed till you were 69 or whatever. By the time this goes out live, it'll probably be 73 with the new government. To get your carriage clock just to see what the time is that you spent doing the same job and the same thing. And I think, was it
Yeah.
Einstein saying, to complete madness is to do the same thing
Thing over again.
to the
Expecting a
yeah.
I
different
think
result.
I think
So-
that's really beautiful.
So,
what you said.
embrace change. It's a brave person that takes it on, but do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that message goes for everybody out there who's listening. You could be someone right now who's maybe at university or college and you've just finished a degree, and that same situation, that quote that Paul said, which was really beautiful, by the way, it's never too late to change, and it's never too late to switch over to a new direction and to take a new path. So thanks so much, Paul, for that. And Louise, last but not least, before we move on to our next section, what would you say?
I think everything that has brought you to where you are now is experience, it's lessons, and it's part of your journey.
Yep.
But if you've got to the point where you're not happy with that, and obviously you're therefore looking forward, just ask yourself, what have I got to lose? So for me, one of my big things was I clearly knew I wasn't happy with where I was. So moving forward, I had nothing to lose by trying so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
And by keeping them open mind and by just trying things, it's got me to where I am now. So it's just not discrediting anything you've done in the past. Don't be hard up or sad about what you've done. If you've gone to university and it's not quite what you thought or what you wanted, or if you've got a job and you've got high in the job, like climbed a ladder that actually isn't the ladder for you, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. It's good. It's part of your journey. It's part of your story. But then it is then looking at, okay, so what other ladders are there to explore? What other things are there to explore? And just enjoy it. And just that you haven't got anything to lose because you've got nothing really. So all you've got is just more opportunities and experiences to gain, and just go with it and just enjoy it.
There you have it, guys. That's words of wisdom from our panelists today. I hope you take this advice on board and really connect with it. Everything that these guys are saying here is from experience, that they've lived it. And remember, it's never too late to go out there and to pursue the path that you wish to pursue for yourself, right?
As well, if I could just add
Yeah.
something what Louise just said, see, as well, is all about people. A lot of people are afraid to change, right?
Yeah.
Because imagine this, you sitting, like I always say this, in a box, right? You're in a box and you have a beautiful life. And a lot of people, and this is a lot of as well, my friend would say, "Nat, but why do I want to do something if I'm happy?"
Yeah.
Now, is that really happiness, or is that actually maybe a fear? Because when you actually dive deep in what is happening, and this is, I'm saying, because I work with people, and actually this is who I was actually in the past. I thought I'm happy. And when I dive deep in, I realized that actually is a lot of stuff to work on. And I realized that as well, the whole lack of self-love and everything. And yes, you do have to have the courage.
It's happiness.
have to have the courage,
It's happiness
you know?
that's been projected onto you from external things,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
and not connecting with your true
Yes,
authentic
and a lot of
self.
people, what they do, they like outside.
Yeah.
They still like, okay, but look at this, comparing to other people, and they trying to search for things,
Yeah.
build something outside, instead of like just, okay, hold on. I will have that courage to actually look inside and everything is okay, and actually dive deep. And it is actually painful. One of my friends said to me, actually a couple of days ago, said, "Nat, thank you, because it was painful." I don't want to use that word F.
Yeah.
Basically, but that was so painful because
Fucking.
she had to walk, and I'm saying metaphor now, with her bare feet on the glass and fire walk, because that was how painful it was.
It
But
was.
what happened 2 months later, she said that was the best thing I could
that you've
do,
ever done.
because I would never discover
That's
who
it.
am I if I wouldn't do this.
And just to
Yeah.
conclude that there, Wayne Dyer has this beautiful quote where he says, "If you cannot learn to go within, you will always go without."
Without, that's
Right, okay, so everybody sit up straight for this next section. I'm really look at Paul. Right, okay, I don't know what this is going to come up with or what we're going to come out with here, but we're going to play a little bit of a game here. It's going to be random question games, right? Louise, I know you're going to throw in some really crazy ones that you can think of already, but can you actually scroll through these and you pick out the relevant ones that you think would be right to ask for the group, right? So, Paul, don't hold back with any of your answers. Let's just make this fun.
Okay, so
Right.
which body part do you wish you could detach and why?
Paul.
Right, okay, let's be rather sensible about this. And the part that I'm going to remove in order to manifest all the dreams of yoga, it's this sodding little stupid bone here.
Right.
Look at it. Now, when I went to school at the age of 11, I was the tallest for 4 years. I was absolutely massive. And I mentioned in some of the things that I went back to a school reunion, and I remember the people coming up to me, God, you're not as tall as we remember you. Because, you know, I should, by technicalities, been about 6'4", 6'5", because I was that big. In rugby, I just ran with the ball. If someone was in the way, I hit them, and they just bounced out of it. And if I got the javelin, I just threw it, and it just went for miles and miles, you know, and, you know, sort of landed the other side of Crystal Palace, whatever. But, you know, then this bone, this stupid little bone, did not behave itself and did not grow.
Wow.
And of course, if it had done, then obviously the lotus position would be absolutely easy to embrace, and I would have
There
no
you
trouble.
go.
I could probably do it backwards and flip round
There we
as
go.
well.
That's
So
it.
it is all down
To
to
the
this
bone.
little bone that decided not to grow anymore when I was 16, and I should have been absolutely enormous and massive, and I'd have to accept that I never quite made 6 foot. So that's the thing that you know
Nice.
I would change a little bit. It's not really overly affected my life, but seeing it was a question that you wanted an honest answer for and not a rude one.
Nice.
There we go. But we're going to incorporate timer into this, right? And we're going to just stick to nice, quick answers for the rest of this game, right?
Okay.
So I've been given the timer option.
How
so
long
we're
does
gonna
that last?
Start that one, I don't know. I think
It's
this
a
will be
minute
done
or
about
so.
7 times now. Right, okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Louise, let's go.
Another question.
Yeah.
If you were arrested with no explanation, what would your friends and family assume you had done?
Nat.
Can you just repeat that
So
question?
basically, you've been arrested.
Yeah.
So we get a phone call and say, Nat's been arrested. We don't know why. What do we think you've done?
Wow.
Teaching people to do downward dog.
I believe
You
that
weren't
that would be
supposed to.
something that the word what will probably come up with in every single person who know me, like that I done something crazy, and crazy, that doesn't mean that wrong, but crazy, like probably speeding or doing exactly speeding or doing yoga or something in the place which I should not. So I think definitely something like a crazy, or because I always, when I was a kid, or I like to do
You were
crazy.
crazy,
So like
yeah.
different. So breaking the law, I would say.
Breaking the law.
Oh,
Breaking
yeah,
the
that's why
law.
you're arrested.
That's why you're arrested.
If you're arrested, it's because you've broken the law.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
So speeding.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
speeding.
So we'd think,
Right.
oh, the reason why she's been nicked is because you've been speeding.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God.
Not criminal offence. Unless it's 130 down the M5.
But you get points and you get fines for it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's usually
Okay,
worse.
okay,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Let's go.
yeah.
Next.
If your 5-year-old self suddenly found themselves inhabiting your current body, what would your 5-year-old self do first? Liam.
I don't understand the
So
question.
basically, if your 5-year-old personality
Yeah.
and self popped up as you now, what would it do first?
Can I answer that for him? His 5-year-old self hasn't left
Left
him.
him, yes.
Has
To be
it?
fair,
Really?
yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, I
The
was just trying to
5-year-old is
think.
still there.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like Paul's answer the best. There
Yeah,
we
it's
go.
kind of.
Yeah.
Right. Any more?
Keep the inner child.
Keep the inner child. Don't
What
let it go.
is something that is really really popular now, but in 5 years everyone will look back on and be embarrassed by?
Ooh.
Embarrassed by.
Like, so you know, you get those trends, like
Right.
flares.
TikTok.
like TikTok and flares. Flares were a big thing, like afros. Did you wear flares, Paul?
Of course I did.
Yeah. Are you embarrassed by them now?
No,
No,
not
are
at
you
all.
holding
No.
that for? Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. That's a good question.
That is.
Next.
As with everything else, it comes
Right,
back
one more
eventually
question.
anyway.
One more
Um,
question.
If you were held at gunpoint and told that if you don't impress them with your dance moves, you'd be killed, what dance moves would you bust out?
Paul. You have to
I think
demonstrate.
I'd
No, Paul, you
have
have to.
to-
No, you have to demonstrate for us. It's a rule of the show.
Could I actually use my Krav Maga basic training to see if I could get out of the
No,
gun
you
hole?
have to
No,
dance.
you have to
I would
dance.
have to
I can
dance.
help you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can help you.
Okay,
Right,
let's
dance,
do it.
guys.
Do it.
Have a dance
Right,
off.
come on.
So-
Nat,
Here we go.
Nat and Paul are going to dance off.
Come on, my boy.
Oh my God.
simple move. I always come up as a
Those legs are working, are they?
Yeah.
Remember
Okay,
your...
guys, you need to dance because they can't hear what you're saying now.
Single, single, double, double. You got it?
Are we drinking whiskey?
No. Single, single, double, double. Single, single,
Yeah.
single, single, double, double. Single, single, double, double. Okay. Now, single, single, double, double. Single, single, double, double. Single, single, double, double. Single, single, double is single, single, double, double.
Single, double, double. Single, single, double, double. Right, Paul?
Yeah,
oh,
I would...
There we go.
Oh, here we go.
There he
Paul's-
goes.
Yeah, okay, I'm not
Paul
going to shoot
from
you.
Bath.
Paul from Bath.
Excellent. Yeah,
There
I
you
like
go.
that. Well done. Okay, guys. Well, I'm sorry to say, but we're actually out of time for today. Give me a oh.
Oh.
How sad, I know. But I just want to say, firstly, massive thank you to everybody who has tuned in here today. Of course, to Paul for joining us today. Thank you so much,
Yay.
Nat. Really great to have you here. Loudmouth Louise, thank you as always for being here. For all of you guys watching at home, please do be sure to comment below. Let us know if there's anything that you would like to see on the future shows coming up, any topics that you want to see discussed. Be sure to comment below, let us know. I'm also going to link all these guys' social medias in the description below. Be sure to go follow them on Instagram, on Facebook, on all social platforms. Reach out, send them a message. All expertise is at what they do. Remember, if you haven't joined us already in the Creator Circle Plus, where we get to hang out, go live every Sunday together, to be instructed by Nat, our yoga teacher, followed by Master Shriya Kashna or any other lead trainer that we bring in for you guys. It's an incredible place to be in. And for now, if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to comment below on this video. Be sure to, if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button, because we are releasing weekly shows here to spread positivity, love, education, and to potentially have you join us here next with us
Yes.
on set as well. But for now, guys, blessings. Namaste.